One of the most common questions that gets asked, especially by new woodworkers, is what's the best brand of power tools out there? Now that makes sense that people would ask that question because you're getting ready to invest what could ultimately be a lot of money in tools. And that need to know the answer to that question is even more magnified when you look at cordless power tools, because buying a particular brand means investing in batteries. And nowadays, the way they sell the tools separate from the batteries, you want to get as many tools using the same kinds of batteries as possible. So it's a very valid question, but it's a hard question to answer. And what you generally get from people is their opinion, their favorites, and they'll call their favorite the best. Or even worse than that, if you look online at articles that say 10 best cordless drills or 10 best circular saws, what you'll get is some young writer who really isn't knowledgeable about tools at all has just gone on Amazon and picked out the 10 with the best ratings, and that's the ones they'll call the best. Well, how'd they get to be the best ratings? Well, that's the ones that people have given the best reviews on. So there's the idea that they must be good or people wouldn't like them, but what is that based on? You know, you look at some of the reviews and there's two things you got to know. One is that some of those are paid reviews, and the other is some people are just complaining because there was a problem with their product. Well, I don't care how good the brand is, you can have a product with a problem. So if you get a lot of people complaining, and people are much more likely to complain than they are to say something good about a product, then it's going to make the product look bad. And it may be actually an absolutely excellent product, and the manufacturer had a problem. I've been in manufacturing. You can have problems, okay? So there's a lot of opinion involved in this. And of course, the other option is head-to-head testing, and that's expensive and time-consuming and challenging to do. Developing tests that accurately and fairly evaluate tools, comparing them head-to-head is challenging, and may not exactly mirror what we do in the real world with woodworking, but nevertheless, you know, it's something. So, you know, it is a good question, and it's a difficult question. Now, best is a relative term, because best in what circumstances? Now, maybe it would seem to you that best is best, but that's not necessarily true. You know, a hobbyist woodworker, somebody who's working on stuff in his garage and making a few things for themselves, for their family, for their home, isn't the same as a professional woodworker or a professional carpenter that's using those tools every day. And the professional carpenter especially is giving that tool some pretty hard use. What that carpenter needs and what that hobbyist needs aren't the same thing. Not only that, but the budget they have available to it to spend on those tools isn't the same thing. If you're using a tool once a week or making a project once a month, you don't need as good a tools as a guy that's depending on those tools to make his living. And he's using them hard every day. And part of hard means dropping them, okay, from the top of a ladder, which isn't real good for most tools. Best is very circumstantial. It's depending on the individual and how they're going to be using the tool. The other thing we got to take into consideration there is how much is the tool getting used? Now, I've got tools here in my shop that I might use once every year or once every 2 years. Well, if I'm not using a tool very often, I certainly don't need as good a tool as I need for, say, a cordless drill that I use every day. So the tools you use all the time need to be better tools than the tools you use rarely. And that goes for professionals as well. Way back when I was in construction, the tools that I really didn't use, I'd go to a discount tool place and I'd buy one that'll get me through to do the job. And that tool would probably get me through that job and a few others, and it would eventually break on me. But I got my money's worth on it. On the other hand, if I went out and bought a $600 tool to do that job, I might lose all of my profit on that job buying that tool. So there's a balance there, best under one's circumstances. Buying tools that are more than you need is spending money you don't need to spend. So that you've got to understand how you're going to be using it. Now, we also need to understand that best is not the same thing as most trusted or most popular or highest rated, okay? A lot of times, companies invest years in developing a reputation. Craftsman tools, for example, which has probably been the standard for consumer-grade tools for decades, maybe more than a century, they've spent years and years and years building their brand. So I've seen tools, and I've seen tool companies, and their standard of comparison is comparing it to Craftsman. Well, at one time that made sense. If you could say you were as good as Craftsman, that was saying something. The same thing can be said for professional tools, say professional mechanic tools. Snap-on Tools is the brand. If you want the best, are the other companies, say like Matco, as good as Snap-on or not? I honestly can't tell you. But that's the standard, and that's what everyone is looking for. Is it as good as Snap-on? So they've got the name, and people buy names. It doesn't just happen with clothing, okay? You know, we joke about people buying brands of clothing just because of the name. Well, it happens in other areas like tools too. What happens often is companies will invest a lot of time and effort into building their brand, building their name. That doesn't mean once they get there, once they hit the top and they're the peak of their game, that they stay there. A lot of times management will change in those companies, and the new management is trying to save money, so they'll reduce quality. And for a while, the consumers don't notice that, but eventually it catches up with them. So don't consider, or don't let popularity be the determining factor for you. Yeah, use it as one of the criteria, but don't let it be the determining factor on what's the best tool for you to buy. I have Craftsman's tools. Almost all my mechanics tools are Craftsman. My radial arms saw is Craftsman. I have some Craftsman power tools. I have a Craftsman jigsaw, which I consider for its price to be the best jigsaw on the market. That doesn't mean it is the best jigsaw. It is for the price, it's the best jigsaw, okay? There's a little difference there. And I bought it because of the features that it had. So best is somewhat of a relative term. Brands, yeah, good brands are good brands, but it doesn't mean they'll always be good brands, okay? As a general rule of thumb, you get what you pay for. And I don't care if you're talking about buying a used car, buying clothes, buying a pair of shoes, or buying tools. It's the same thing. Expensive stuff is expensive stuff, partially because of the brand name, but largely because of the quality that goes into it. Now, I not too long ago had a really good lesson on this in buying purses for my wife. Now, my wife likes expensive purses. And I've always thought, you know, a purse is a necessity. Go buy one that's relatively inexpensive and they'll do the job. Well, I bought my wife a name brand purse as a present. And I thought I was buying a good purse. And I spent $200 and some on it, I think. Say roughly $250 on it. And in less than a year, the handle started coming apart. Now, I had bought other brands of purses that were roughly in the same price range, and that didn't happen. What was the difference? Quality. See, a lot of what you're paying for when you're buying more expensive things is you're buying quality. And what that quality boils down to is how long is it going to last? When we're talking about tools, power tools, there's a couple things that are really, really important as far as life expectancy of those tools. Number one is the motor brushless? Because the brushes in the motor are the first thing they'll wear out. The second thing is how good are the bearings? Now, there's a lot of different types of bearings they can put into a drill or a saw. You know, maybe they're using just a plastic sleeve bearing on an El Cheapo model. Maybe they're using a bronze bearing. Maybe they're using oil impregnated bronze. Maybe they're using a ball bearing. Maybe they're using a roller bearing. You can find the same, all those different types of bearings using the same application. What's the difference? How long it'll last. So when you buy the expensive brand, you're buying life expectancy. Again, how much are you going to use it? Of all the power tools you have in your workshop, the one you're going to use the most is a drill. That is the one power tool you use the most. Second most is probably a circular saw for most of us. Now, there's always exceptions, but those are the two tools that are used pretty much the most. Does a planer, a handheld planer, get used as much as an electric drill? No. So does the brand need to be as good? Well, depends on the work you do. So that's something to consider, okay? If you're a professional, life expectancy is critical, because if you're out on the job, if you're on a construction site, and that tool dies on you, you not only lose the time it takes to go buy another tool, and of course the money that's involved in that, but it may set you back on your work schedule. You may have to go redo something that came undone because you didn't finish it before you went to go buy the tool that you had to have to finish it. So you could lose a lot by having a tool go out for you. So having good tools is really critical. If you're working on a little project in your garage and your tool goes out and you got to run to the hardware store or wherever you would go to buy your tool and buy another one, it can probably just sit there, and maybe it'll be next week you'll finish it up, or be 2 weeks later before you finally pick up the tool and you can go back and finish it up. It doesn't hurt you. You don't lose anything. So those are all things to consider when you're looking at tools, okay? The other thing that can raise the cost of a tool is additional features. I mentioned the Craftsman jigsaw a few minutes ago, and that Craftsman jigsaw has some features on it that are really good features. Things like a laser for guiding it with, okay? And not all jigsaws have those. Well, that feature is worth some amount of money, okay? I actually don't use that a whole lot. It has 5 different modes of oscillation for the blade, which helps with avoiding splintering on different types of materials. Not all of them have that. So those are things that you normally pay extra for, all right? So you expect to pay more when you're getting additional features. But like on a circular saw, how many features can you get on a circular saw? You know, they all basically do the same thing. You look at circular saws and you look at all the circular saws out there. Just take a look on Amazon sometime. And, you know, I'm talking the same size circular saws. I'm talking a plug-in 7 1/4 inch circular saw. Well, the difference you're going to see, the obvious differences you may see are does it have a cast shoe or a stamped metal shoe? How many amps does it draw, which gives you an idea of the motor size, and whether or not it has a laser. Other than that, you're not going to see much difference in the way of features, okay? So features, yes, cost money, but features aren't always going to be the determining factor on what the price actually ends up being. Okay, so now that I've said all that, let me answer the question, okay? The question of what's the best brand of power tools? And I've got to give a qualified answer here because it depends on how you're going to use the tool. It depends on who you are and what you're doing and how you're going to use the tool. So I'm going to give you 3 answers, and one of those answers has got 2 parts to it. The first answer is out and out best. I'm basing this on the price, innovation, and how many professionals use them is probably Festool. Festool is a German company. Their tools are very expensive. They're a very innovative company. Quality is absolutely excellent on their tools. I do not own a single Festool tool because I can't afford them. And I probably never will own one unless somebody gives me one as a present. It's not the kind of tool that a do-it-yourselfer, a hobbyist, you know, even a small-time professional woodworker is going to be able to afford to buy. There are people out there having, you look at a lot of videos online with professional woodworkers making projects, you'll see Festool, okay? Like I said, I don't own any. So next step down, professional grade tools. Now there is some disagreement. Again, we're talking preferences here. To me, the absolute best brand of professional grade tools is Milwaukee. And the reason I say Milwaukee is because Milwaukee somehow manages to get more power out of their tools than anybody else does. Now, power is an important factor in pretty much any cordless or corded hand tool. How much power does it have? Is it going to get bogged down cutting that board or drilling that hole? And so Milwaukee seems to be the best for that. Now, some people don't like Milwaukee, and if you look at popularity in the last years, DeWalt has increased in popularity a lot, and a lot of people will say DeWalt is the best brand. My brother-in-law uses all DeWalt cordless tools, okay? I prefer Milwaukee. DeWalt is more convenient to work with and generally more comfortable in the hand than Milwaukee. But Milwaukee beats out DeWalt in power, so that's why I say Milwaukee, okay? There are many other good brands out there, but if I'm going for professional tools, I'll go for Milwaukee, okay? What about the new woodworker? What's the best brand for the new woodworker? Well, you can buy Milwaukee, and if you've got the money, yeah, go for it. But a lot of people just getting started out in woodworking really don't have a lot of money to spend, and there's so many things you want to get or you feel you need to get that it's really hard to spend a lot of money on any one tool. So I think the best brand for the new woodworker is Ryobi. And I have a number of Ryobi tools. I actually have more Ryobi cordless tools than I have anybody else's out there. It's just worked out that way. Ryobi gives you excellent value for the money. Their tools have a very reasonable price range. Their quality is good. Are they as good as Milwaukee? I would not say so. Will they last as long as a Milwaukee? I'm pretty sure they won't. But are they a good tool for the do-it-yourselfer or the home woodworker? Absolutely. That's the one I would recommend to people who are just starting out.